Hi, Guido Fox here. Wonderful that you will watch a new episode of the book reports. And today I want to talk with you about the therapeutic relationship between a client and a coach and therapist relationship. And I talk this video to you as therapist or as coach, um, or as someone who likes to help people from a professional way of view. But you can also watch this video if you're maybe a future client, or you're interested in the dynamics between a coach and a client, or a therapist and a client, whatever, right? You have coaches, you have therapists, you have psychological persons, you have medical, psychiatry guys, or women. So you have all kinds of settings where there's a dynamic where you try to help and support the client, right? So you want to help and support the client. The client is coming with a problem, and then the relationship will starting. It's also called, this book, the Therapeutical Relationship. It's a book of 200 pages of information. I use it also a little bit to self-knowledge, also to improve my own coaching skills. And it's always good to improve your knowledge, right, about the relationships you have with your clients and how to improve it. And the last 7 years, I coach many and many people, always in a good relationship, I think, in a constructive relationship, and also try to confront also the clients with their weaknesses. And I want to talk later about this tricky point, when you do it, when you confront, what's the nice moves there to do on a more softer way, to not that the client is walking away or not feeling hurted or whatever. But most of all, no pain, no gain, is also that you have to confront on a certain moment your client. So I have a lot of experience the last 7 years in coaching people, um, and also people who that I, on a certain moment, mostly that I say, at one time, that the guy was saying goodbye in the coaching relationship, that there was no match, not much matching. Sometimes you don't match with a client, but near all the clients are finished the triact, or at a certain moment I close the triact, that I think, okay, it's now 8 9 months, I've done enough, it's time for a new coach for you, or a new adventure, or I cannot do anything more for you, or the spirit is out of the session. So at a certain moment I decide to close, mostly also the triacs, or we say together, oh, it's over at this moment, it is finished, the time is at 8 9 months is mostly the maximum to coach a person, and then it's also time to move on. Otherwise, it's becoming more a relationship, and that's more therapist work, that you have 5 years with a client. But I coach is mostly short and intense, 6 sessions, 12 sessions, or 20, 24 in 8 months, or 6 weeks, or 12 weeks, and then we saying goodbye. And I try to bring you, we try to bring each other on the right path in life. So that's a little bit how the coaching triacs are working. Yeah, first of all, page 17, the therapeutic relationship is the quality of the bond will is very important first. So first trust with the client, building up trust, lean back, listening to the client, let the client talk about the problems, Very listening skills are very important there. Remembering skills, so remember what the client is saying, write down on a note if it's necessary. Listening careful to the problems of the clients will create a bond and also create a lot of information about the client and the problem. So we have a clear vision about what's going on there in the client's life and the client's mind, and you build up a lot of trust, a lot of comfort with the client, that he's put everything out of his mind, out of his mouth, that he's becoming a sharing partner. And if the client is sharing a lot of information, that's good, because how more information you have about the client, about his situation, how better you can work as a coach to help him further. And that's what you want as a coach. You don't want to interfere directly in the sessions and to correct them and to give your opinion and that kind of stuff. The first 6 sessions mostly is building trust with the client, listening to the client, and take care also a little bit about his or her situation. So saying that it is horrible what this guy is overcome, or this woman, be careful to the client. Take care of him. Say that it is worse in his life, and that is a pity situation, and 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 take care mentally for the client to create trust, to bring comfort. And that's needed, because after 6 7 sessions you go to more the correcting things. You get patterns out of the behavioral patterns of the client. So if you see a client 6 7 8 times, you see in a certain moment patterns there existing. And if you see patterns, you can easily correct later or confront the client with the dysfunctional behavioral patterns. And so that first 6 sessions is also good to understand the patterns and to see the patterns of the client, and also not jump to conclusions, right? So if you're giving your opinion as a coach too easily and too quick, then maybe you miss something out of his stories. You jump to a conclusion and you get distortions in the relationship. So a good coach is listening the first session and is easygoing, has a lean back attitude, and really taking care of the client. And later on we can see if we can change something in the behavioral patterns and bring solutions to his or her problem. So that's the most important, I think, I have to say in this book, The Therapeutic Relationship, is that building up comfort and listening skills are very important. And of course the client can mock, because I'm also telling my own story, I want to have solution, and I don't get energy from these sessions. That's true, but don't go into the frame of the client. Stay calm and relax and safe. For grounded analysis is very needed to bring you further in life. We cannot do things fast, because fast solution is mostly bad solutions. Too fast is too short, and it's also not good. Better long-term grow than short-term grow. Better long-term, good, durable solutions than quick fixings of your car, and you have a broken wheel on the end of the road. 200 meters further, your car is broken because you had a quick solution there, right? So long-term growth is very important in the coaching dynamic. So very important to stay by yourself, not going into the hurrying matrix pressures from your client. I want to have solutions. I want to have 4 sessions. I want to know the answers of my career question. I want to fix my relationship as soon as possible. No, stay calm and bring the client out of the matrix and take more easygoing and relaxed, and then everything becomes fine. Page 17. There are some faults, some distortions. What could happen in the coaching dynamics? One is the parental-child dynamics. As a coach, it is important to bring the client to a higher level of consciousness, to bring the client to a new relationship dynamics, bring the client to a new career path, bring the client to a new business vision, bring the client to a new wonderful dating life. And you raise the client up. What I see a lot of coaching dynamics is that the client is going into his old child role and the coach is going into his old father figure. So the coach is becoming the father and the coachee, the client, is becoming more in a child role. And you don't want to have this dynamics because the child is becoming and staying the child and the coach is trying to be the father figure who knows everything, and you don't want to have this dynamic. You want on a certain moment a little bit equal, a little bit above, but you don't want to have the situation where the client is becoming a child and stay fixed in the child role, and the father is staying fixed in the father role, and therefore the child is never can grow higher. And the most beautiful thing is that my clients are growing out of me, that I give my energy to the clients, that they're able to grow above me. Right? That's the most important thing, that the client is growing out of you. That's the most beautiful thing, right? That they have the power to grow above me. Of course, it's very difficult. I have 10 years experience in personal development. I have 10 years experience in meditation. I have 10 years experience in whatever, reading books, but my goal to bring all the dance information, all the 300 plus books I read, bringing to the clients in dance form, to bring the clients in a higher stage of life. So it is possible. How more sessions you take, how more you grow towards me. So at a certain moment you grow out of me. If you take a lot of sessions, you grow out of me. So the purpose is not staying in the father figure and the client in his old child role that's disturbing the progress. It's a regressive need from both and it's disturbing the coaching relationship. And you don't want to have that. You want to grow together. And you want to grow together as two persons. I can also grow for my clients. I can learn from my clients. I'm open to learn from my clients. I stay child too in a kind of sense. So I'm also learning from my clients. And therefore you can grow together. So that's the most important thing I want to tell you. You grow together. Not staying in the parental and child role. I think the beginning of the coaching relationship is good to have some authority and some little bit father figure to be authority in person. The people is coming also for your knowledge to also make their the dynamics clear, that you are leading the process. You're leading as a coach the process, but it has not falling into fixed figures of the father and the child, fixed dynamics there where people are not able to grow to each other. So that's a very important thing to understand, the trapped father and child figure in the coaching dynamics. Very interesting, I think. Page 27 is a very important thing, is that the underlying battle of power of knowledge. Mostly people are coming by a coach are quite strapped in their life. They're not coming further in life And mostly is that they're very stubborn. A lot of very stiff, stubborn people who are knowing things themselves. They have, of course, their own beautiful life, and they're knowing everything the best. And then at a certain moment, they're coming to a lamp, to a lamp, to a lamp. They poof your head to a lamp every time. And then, okay, now I need to a coach. I'm very shameful. I think I'm doing everything great. I'm very stubborn. I know everything. I read so many books, and but now I have to go to a coach because it's not going well with me. I'm very depressive. I'm losing job after job. I'm losing job after job, and never going at the same. And the old patterns are coming back. They're quite bossy, and they try to compete with you as a coach on knowledge. And there's an underlying battle. And I think a lot of coaches who are watching this video are saying, yeah, this is really true. There's existing a kind of underlying battle that this coaching client wants to drag you down, and they want to compete with you. They're feeling actually very insecure, so there's a little bit overcompensation there active. So what to do with these clients who are very stubborn and try to compete with you, and they want to have your help, and they know, of course, they know themselves every time better. And it's a very strange mechanism because they pay for you to get advice and to mirror them. But this underlying power mechanism, what is implanted by the matrix, of course, implanted by maybe his family or her family dynamics, or in the office dynamics, they're always confronted with power, and to have a fence around you, to have a wall around you. The best thing is they're also lean back, listening to his stories, and be not going into the competition and back, but stay in the leading role there. But you don't want to have fights in your coaching sessions, especially the first 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions. You never want to have fights, verbal fights. So always lean back, listening carefully, and stay calm. You're on a higher level, probably as a coach, on a higher spiritual level. So you become calm and grounded there, in your energy. So not going with this power game. Um, and Later I will talk about the fear of being dominated. Is that a client also can have the fear of being controlled and being dominated. There's also an aspect in the coaching relationship, what's going on there. But here it's more the subject of underlying power mechanisms, that people have to prove themselves towards the coach. I know also something, or I know what's the best in my life. And that's very strange because, hey, you are coming here by me, right, with a problem, and you pay for me. So why you are so stubborn, and why you're so in your competition, why you know things always better. That's something strange, right? So that's what you see also a lot in your coaching and with your clients, that there is some underlying power mechanism because you're higher in your evolution, and people wants to drag you down from the rock. So be also aware about this underlying dynamics. And you're touching also the uh, ego from this person, because that ego is the wall, and that is building up so many years and years in the matrix. So you really touch there the ego of this person. So calm down, relax, stay above this matrix ritual, and stay in your calm, relaxed energy, and not going into this drama, conflict, fight, reaction. Yeah, and it's also maybe for the first time that someone is coming in a room where this person have a long-term one-to-one talk. It's very rare in the matrix. You talk with friends on parties, you talk in groups with colleagues in the coffee corner where everyone comes in and out. But really going deep with each other and one to one is very exceptional in the matrix. Outside the matrix, I say you're kind of outside the matrix because you're a higher level spirituality. But a one to one talk with someone for a long time, you don't do that even with your partner. Right? You have children and you go to the zoo and whatever, you lie in bed, but really one to one talk for a long time with someone is could be very scary, could be very confronting. So you also have to deal with this fear possibilities in the coaching relationship. Um, what you see also that these fear mechanisms are could be kicking in, right? So people can be sweaty or can be nervous or can be in the defensive mood or in the attacking mood or in the stubborn mood because they're a little bit afraid to be being dominated and being controlled. And the next nice bridge towards the next subject is page 47. 47 is that that the client is be afraid to be controlled and to be dominated by the life coach. So they protect themselves and they say, oh no, now all my life are going to change and I'm going to change. My ego wants to say that I'm myself. I want to stay myself. I want to have my old life. I don't actually want to change because that's very scary. I don't want to change my career, my job because I'm so attached. I'm like nice safe environment. Oh, I'm so safe in my relationship. I don't want to change my relationship. I don't want to change myself. So you see a lot of times that people are stingy to their old ego personality and their old life and never open to change. But at a certain moment, the waves are becoming so high in their life that they need a coach, that they have to go to the coach. Everyone should have a life coach, by the way. Everyone can improve his or her life at a certain way. And your soul wants to have this too. So that's what you see, that clients also can be afraid to be controlled, afraid to be dominated. Next to the fear of losing, and that's also could be part, is that the clients are testing you if you're stable, calm, stay by them, and if you're dedicated to the coaching triad, and also could be over testing you from insecurities, from underlying insecurities. So the client can test you, over test you, because they're insecure themselves and they're afraid to lose the therapist. So they're testing you. The fear of losing of the therapist is also a famous fear by clients who are insecure, toxic, and they try to test you if you're constantly staying by them. So the fear of losing is also a very famous fear. Also there, calm, relaxed, giving answer to the question, not going into the testing frame. Just lean back, stay comfort, stay calm, and give a safe feeling to the client, that the client is safe here. Hey, we have 6 sessions, don't worry. We finish this triad, then it's over, or 12 sessions or 24 sessions. So really give the client a very comfortable feeling about the coaching triad that will keep the fear away. And you can also, so I'm here not to control you, I'm not to dominate you, I'm not to influence you in a kind of way. I'm here to help you. I'm here to solve your problems, and together we are going to make it, right? So that solves the fear of being dominated or the fear of being controlled, can be tackled by giving the client a safe feeling, but also we are working together. I'm here for you. I am here for you to help you to create a better life. That's why I am here for you. That's also a very important mechanism in the dynamics between client and coach. That's a lot of times the case. There are so many bad coaches. I have no high bad in Dutch. I have not a high vision about coaches, and a lot of people are coming here also say, "Yeah, Guido, I all those coaches, I don't find them good," and that's actually true. On page 32, there are so many bad coaches. There are so many coaches who are not improve themselves constantly. There are a lot of coaches who are not reading books even. The most important thing is stay updated. So constantly new read books about your field of knowledge. Constantly write about your work. And if I come sometimes on websites, what's my competition? I feel very sorry, but most coaches have 1-2 blocks or a short flatty ebook, or they use another book for the merchandising, or they don't have even a book report or a YouTube channel, and I see, okay, what you're knowing actually. And then they say I'm a specialist in a kind of field because I have reacting this and this experience. And here comes the clue. That's that coaches are reacting too much from their own experience. They're wounded and they're still wounded, and that's the other clue. The most coaches are wounded themselves, and they have a dramatic life. They have a dramatic experience, and maybe one experience of losing a child or something, and then they want to help mothers that also lose their child. So they have one experience in life, and they think they're a specialist about it, and they're still wounded. And from that deeper wound, what never was healed by themselves, they try with this wound, this empty wound, this hurted wound, to help other people who were also wounded by not healing themselves and not reading any books, not reading any blogs, but only coach from their own small little one issue experience. And that's not a coach. A coach is reading books, experience from other people, writing blogs, getting knowledge everywhere, and from that system you coach people. So you coach people from a bunch of experience and not only one single experience, and you're still wounded. A real coach is meditate hours per day to constantly renew his energy, constantly renew his old wounds. Of course, I have also old wounds, but I renew myself. I heal myself constantly with meditation. So you can transformation yourself constantly and give that energy to the client. So you see so many wounded clients, coaches who are helping wounded clients, and they're still in darkness, and there all the helper syndromes is coming from. There all the father-child dynamics is coming from. So that's what you see a lot of times. The father-child dynamics, the regressive needs, and the power games over there. That's, oh, I'm wounded. I know everything about my wound. I lost my child as a mother. It's very horrible, of course, but I have now experienced. I know everything about it. I want to help other people. And you get an helper syndrome dynamics, and that's not good for the progressive of the clients. So stay reading in your knowledge and share it to the world. Stay writing blogs about your work and put it forwarded instead of reacting only from your own wound and transfer that to the client. Change in dynamics. Page 55, another topic is that the client was first the fear of losing, and then it is an extremely follower. That's another interesting dynamic, that the client is extremely attached. So first the client is hesitated oh, fear of losing, I test this guy out, and let's see what's going on. And then there comes a reaction of the overdrive, and there's the attachment client or the attachment follower. That's also part. That a guy or a woman is only following excessively, following. It become toxic. It become very how you say that is in English. You become very attached, but also toxic. You're becoming very obsessed with the coach. So that's also what you see a lot of times, is that a coaching client can be obsessed with you. So obsessed with the coach. The client become obsessed with you, and you have to be careful with this kind of clients. More on distance, staying professional, and uh, give also safe feelings there. And the risk, if people are becoming too attached and too follower, is that you get that child parental figure again. So the child is doing everything what you want and have no own opinion anymore. And the task is from the coach is leadership, and bring leadership towards the client, so that they become a leader about her or his life themselves, so they can grow themselves, they can learn themselves. So your task as a coach or a therapist is that your client become a leader them or herself. So becoming a leader is your goal, that the child is becoming adult and that he can take care about his or own life, so that he create also an own opinion and not constantly following the coach. So that's page 55. And also what you see in coaching dynamics is that the client becomes, that's the underlying power mechanism a little bit too, but the client becomes dominant. And the client is opening up. There's a lot of trust in the relationship. You try to help them, and the client becomes once over confidential, over confidence. And the ego is taking over, and they say, oh, now I know everything. I learn everything from Guido, and now I think I know everything, and I can change the world. So also there you see overcompensation very actively, that a client thinks that he knows everything and that he's becoming even dominant to you, and even thinks that he knows things better than you. And that's also not the case you want to have, that there's over dominance there because the guy or woman gets some knowledge from a life coach how to live. So also temper there. The overcompensation is a good strategy to bring this client healthy and egoless into the matrix. And the first thing was try to create by the client also space and room for his own opinion. So also create own opinion. So yeah, you can say, okay, what do you find actually about this and why you find this? So create own opinion by the client is very important. Page 61, fear reducing. Yeah, I talked with you already about this. Give the client a safe feeling. I'm here to work with you. This is a safe place. We finish the 12 sessions. Then we can look further what we're doing together. Lean back, trust in the sessions, and we are working together. And then you reduce the fear of losing by the clients. The fear of losing the therapist can be a very quiet phenomenon. What's going on? So the fear of losing is an interesting thing. So reduce the fear. Mostly important. Bring comfort. Lean back. Stay calm, and then you can really bring the client forward towards a healthy, constructive, non-toxic dynamic. with your client. Thank you for watching, and I see you by the next episode. Bye bye.